On YouTube. It is I, Danielle, better known as Danielle Happy Medium, and in this video topic up for discussion today, we're going to talk about the soul and how long does it take for the soul to go over to the spirit world, and does the soul really get stuck? Off the back of a question that was asked to me yesterday, just in fact, a person asked me, Danielle, how long does it take to have a reading with a particular individual in the spirit world? Can that person come through as quick as that, or is it that they need to leave 6 months before that person goes to the spirit world? So let me sort of break this down a little bit for you. So when the soul leaves the physical body, which is when a person dies here to the earth plane, they go straight over to the spiritual realms. They don't stop, they don't get stuck, they don't sit in holding pens, they don't do any of these types of things. They go straight over to the spirit world with their loved ones and are greeted by other loved ones or by their own spirit team if they maybe work for the spirit world. Whatever it is that, or wherever it is that they choose to go. Remember, it's still a free will choice, even when you pass over to the spiritual world. When it comes to connecting, or when it comes to taking a reading, you can have a reading as soon as the day after. You could have it 12 hours after. I'll tell you a little story. I did a demonstration of mediumship in a golf club about 2 years ago over in Berkeley. And a particular lady was sitting in the congregation. And I went to that lady and I said, I have your mum here. And I give her the message about her mum and all these types of things. And this lady was in floods and floods of tears. And me personally, I just thought that, that this lady was still going through her grief. Here, the lady come to me at the end of the night, and the mother had only died at 9 o'clock in the morning. And she'd come to my show at 7 o'clock on the evening. So that shows you how quick these people can come through. I also know of another story of a fellow medium friend of mine, or still a good friend of mine actually, but is not a medium anymore, doesn't work professionally anymore. And that particular lady had been standing on a rostrum and had gone to a lady in the congregation. A rostrum to me and you is church work. I am going to be doing a video on jargon, mediumship jargon. Yous will love it. But getting back to the story in hand, and this lady had been on a rostrum, excuse me. And I got the lady in the congregation and said to the lady in the congregation, I have your husband here. The lady had said, I doubt it. My husband's at home. I left him at home to come here tonight. She says, well, I'm really sorry to tell you, but I've got your husband here. The lady had gone home and her husband had actually passed away in the chair of a heart attack. So that shows you how soon the spirit world can come through. With connections to healing, or whether the soul needs healing, what we have to remember here is the soul is perfect in every way. The only thing that changes is the vibration of the soul, which means because of the things that we did down here to the earth plane, will alternate and change the vibration of the person. But that does not actually alter the soul itself. The soul is still perfect. It's just the vibration in which that soul goes changes because of the choices and decisions it made here to the earth plane. But that does not need fixing. All that needs to be done is more learning needs to be given when it is in the spiritual realms. When it comes to whether or not these people get stuck, or whether these people have some sort of problem in coming to and from the earth plane, there's no such thing as that as far as I am aware. What I do know is that everybody will go to the spirit world. Some people will choose to hold on to the materialistic world, which is our world to me and you. But what will ultimately happen, the spirit world will always actively encourage that soul to work within the spiritual realms at all times, or stay within the spiritual realms where it belongs, because it's safer in the spirit world than it is living or coming backwards and forwards to the earth world. Do our loved ones visit here to the earth? Yes, but they visit and then go back. Some souls choose to live between the two worlds, which is the fact that they choose to move between the earthly world in the spiritual world due to the fact that they haven't completely let go of the earthly world or the earthly materialistic things in which that they had. I'll give you another particular story. A gentleman, when I got this house, I've had this house 10 years. When I come here, or when I first viewed this property, I knew that there was a gentleman in the house. And at the time, I didn't even work for the spirit world then. Little did I know that 5 years later, I'd be professionally working for the spirit world in every capacity. But getting back to the story, there was a fella who was in this house, and I knew he was here. And for many, many years, he'd come and went from this house. Now, he owned this house. It was his house. He'd been in this house for many, many years prior to me moving in. And because he was so attached to the house and the fact that he'd worked very hard for this property, he used to just, come and check on it and things like that. So for many years, and still to this day, he still comes and I see him and I'll nod at him and he'll go, I'm just checking. And I'll go, that's okay. And then he will then disappear and go back towards the spirit world. And this is what I talk about, where spirits are still quite attached to the earthly world or the possessions in which that they had when they were here to the earth. What will happen is learning and progression will alter that and change that. So eventually then people let go of the earthly things in which that they were once sort of very much fond of, and will then go back towards the spirit world and live the rest of their life out in the spiritual world. When people talk to me about they feel their loved ones very close around and about them, this is again another scenario, is where when they are first gone over to the spirit world, they will still have very, very close ties to you. As you move forward and as they move forward, the gap and the feeling of them being around you very close in the beginning when they went to the spiritual world will eventually either start to become less and less, or it will be as if they're not there at all, which when I get a lot of people to me going, I used to feel my loved ones a lot, Danielle, but now I don't feel them at all. One, it's because of the fact that you have transitioned through the grief of losing that loved one. And second, because that person has accepted and understood that it needs to be in the spiritual world now and not here to the earth plane. So in short, to the question, how long does it take for a soul to move over to the earth, from the earth to the spirit world? It's instant. It's instantaneously. There is no stopping there, unfortunately. It is an instant transition done by loved ones, spirit guides or spirit helpers, and always greeted and met by the spirit helpers, guides and family on the other side. So I hope this answers the question from the lovely, lovely lady who inboxed me over Facebook yesterday. I am on YouTube tonight at 7:30 doing a live Q&A, so I'll probably see you all then, or those who want to join me, by all means do so. But I will be seeing you all very, very soon.